Welcome to Approach the Climb, the podcast where we talk about real stories, strategies, and insights to help you on your personal climb to success. And if you haven't already, please go to our website, approachtheclimb.com, and follow us on all of our social media pages. It would mean the world to me if you did that. And if you find value in the content that we provide in this podcast and on our social media, I just ask you to share it. It's an easy way for you to be able to support me and sharing the positivity of our message to others around you. Today, I am very excited because I'm going to be giving you guys a rundown of my experience with 75 Hard. For those of you that don't know, I was doing 75 Hard and completed it at the end of last year. And it was crazy. It was completely different than anything I've ever done before. I have done different programs in the past where I've tried to focus on my fitness, my diet, reading, education, all sorts of things. And this program, 75 Hard, is something completely different than all of that. For those of you that don't know, 75 Hard is a mental toughness, mind reset program. It is not fitness related. It is not health related, though there are health related portions to it. And we will definitely get into that later. But first, I want to share with you guys where I'm at now. I want to share with you where I came from, and I want to share with you how I got there through using this program. As it stands today, I am 70 pounds down from when I first started my journey on August 28th. I weighed in at 311 back then, and then now I'm weighing in at 241 pounds, which you look back at over 4 months, and if any of you have known me during this time or before this time or even now, me at 311 pounds was a completely different version that I am now. I had a complete overhaul in my mind. My mindset has completely changed. I have transformed it into something completely different than where I was 4 months ago. The weight was obviously a big aspect of the change. My energy levels now are just so heightened, and it's really because of the things that I'm putting in my body and the things that I'm consuming. And also, I'm just a much more enjoyable person to be around, I think, right? You may not agree with me, but I think I'm also a much better husband and dad. Even, my kids, just when I play with them, I'm much more engaged with them in day-to-day activities. And so I see the benefits of that, just being an active father, being an active husband, being able to do the things that I couldn't do before. And y'all, when I tell you 4 months ago, I was in a rut, I was in a deep, deep rut. I was just depressed. I was sad. I was lazy. I wasn't taking action. I had a lot of dreams and aspirations and goals, but that's all they were. I wasn't ready to take action on anything. And maybe you're listening to this podcast and you look at me now and you are right now where I was 4 months ago. And you think to yourself, man, if Josh can do it, I can do it. And that's going to be my goal of this podcast today. This is why I'm sharing my story. This is why I did 75 Hard. Of course, I did it for me. Of course, I did it to be a better husband and father. But through this, I'm really understanding that my purpose in life is to help inspire others and help them reach their goals. So I hope that you leave this podcast today feeling a little more confident in yourself, hopefully with a little bit more self-belief that you can do the things that you want to do as long as you have that mind transformation. That's what it takes. For me, it was a huge reliance on God, a huge support system around me, and truly diving into that mind transformation and knowing that that's what I needed to change. Obviously, I needed to change my eating habits. Obviously, I needed to change my working out habits, which was completely zero before. But at the end of the day, if I only would have changed those things, nothing would have happened. I might have gotten down to the weight I am now, but I would have already put it back on. I would have started even in the past week that I've been not doing 75 Hard, making horrible choices. And y'all, I've tried Coke Zero, I've tried the donuts, I've tried the cookies, I've tried all of that. And I do not get satisfaction in those things anymore. It's crazy because if you knew me before, you knew that I could munch down on some dessert. Like Thanksgiving time, I would have some pumpkin pie, some coconut cream pie, whatever kind of peanut butter stuff we made. My brother made peanut butter lasagna this year, which sounds absolutely crazy, but it looked delicious. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm not the person that's going to go overindulge in things. And I'm also not the person anymore that's going to dive into something full first that's not going to meet my goals, right? I'm much more goal oriented now. When we talk about this mind transformation that 75 Hard did for me, it had me really focus on the prize. And at first it was just, I want to complete 75 Hard to be a better husband and father. That was my goal. That was my why. And if you're out there and you're thinking about starting this journey, or you want to do something around your health and your fitness, you want to read more, you want to drink more water, you want to cut out sugars, you want to cut out alcohol, whatever it may be for you, you have to have a why. For me, my why was my family. It's always my family. I love my family to death and would do anything for them. And so for me, knowing where I was and seeing some of the transformations that I saw in other people, I had to do that. There's no reason that I wouldn't have done that for my family. And now that I'm in the place where I wanted to be, I had to make my why bigger. My coach Christian talks about this. He talks about your why is going to shift as you go through your journey. And as I've went through this journey over the last 4 months, I've understood that I can't just solely focus on my family now, because I am in a place where I've been giving more to my family, and it feels really good to be able to do that. But I know that I'm meant for so much more. And so that's why I've added that inspiration to others on top of that. And I want to help you guys. I really do. I truly think that if you can unlock the mindset like I have been able to, that you're going to see a lot of the same results that I have. And it really starts with a big why. You have to have that. And I had that, and that's what made me successful. So I'm going to talk a little bit about 75 Hard. A lot of you have been asking me about, what is my workout plan? What am I reading? What does my nutrition look like? How was I able to do this and have a family and try to work and still be social and do all of these other things, right? There's a lot to this, okay? I'm not saying 75 Hard is easy. It's obviously called 75 Hard for a reason. It's one of the most difficult and strenuous programs that you can do for yourself. And that's the thing, you're doing it for yourself. Nobody is going to make you do it. So let's talk about the different areas of 75 Hard. Okay. If you don't know about 75 Hard, I'm going to have the podcast link down below by Andy Frisella. Please go listen to that. You're going to get a lot of good information on what 75 Hard is there and his experience. But I'm here to share with you a little bit about mine and the different breakdown of things that we just talked about. So the different areas of 75 Hard, you have to do 2 45-minute workouts, and one of those workouts has to be outside. You have to pick a diet and stick to it. There's no cheat meals, sweets, or alcohol. You have to take a progress picture every single day. Yes, every single day. And Emily, if you're listening to this, you took almost all of these from me at very inopportune times. And thank you for that, because without you, I would not have been able to do 75 Hard. Number 4, you have to drink a gallon of water every single day. No questions asked there. Drink a gallon, no additives, no nothing like that. And then number 5 is you have to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. And I don't mean like, it's not like sift through pages. It's like intently read with the goal of being able to take action from your reading. So let's talk about fitness for a second. For me, I started with outdoor walks. That's what I started with. And literally the very first day of 75 Hard, August 28th, I downloaded the app. And when you check off everything in there, there's a spot for you to put notes. Literally the first note that I put said legs numb after first workout. And so being 311 pounds and going out and walking outside for 45 minutes is rough. Not going to lie to you. I had almost no activity at that time. I was just playing video games, sitting around, not doing a lot, working at home, just kind of like kick back like you would picture an IT guy doing. That's a lot of what I was doing. So you can imagine how that first 45-minute walk was for me. But I did the outdoor walks. Eventually, I added a rucksack on with 45 pounds in it. I got the Rucker 4.0 from GoRuck, the 25L, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Highly recommend that if it's something that you think that you want to do. You want to start adding some weight on your back to your outdoor workouts. Absolutely endorse that 100%. And then for my indoor workouts, I either did a 45-minute yoga session, or I did some sort of workout at the gym. At first, I was going to Planet Fitness, just kind of meddled around with weights, things that I have known from, just like the military or football, like different workouts that I used to do. And eventually I got a trainer to build out a workout for me. And it's a workout plan that I still follow today. It's been shifted a little bit here and there, but it's been absolutely amazing for me to be able to do. So if you're going to go to the gym like I did, highly recommend you find somebody to build you a workout plan. And if you don't want to do that, inside of the app that I've used, it's the First Form app. They have fitness in there, they have nutrition in there. They give you a one on one coach to go through all of these things and keep you accountable. Shout out to Christian, who's my coach. He's absolutely phenomenal. We're going to have him and his wife, Bridget, on the podcast really soon. And I cannot wait for you guys to meet them and hear what they have to say about different things that they've dealt with in their journey and ways that hopefully they can encourage you in just living a healthier lifestyle as well. But the app is absolutely phenomenal. It has been probably one of the largest factors to my success. Just having a one on one coach that can focus on my nutrition and fitness levels, adjusting my macros. I'm making sure that I track my food in there every single day. I'm making sure that I'm going in there. You can look at your steps, you can look at different workouts. They have educational videos. So I'm going to have a link down below. You can download the First Form app. It's $12.99 a month. And if you can't justify that for yourself, let me justify it for you. Don't go to Starbucks in the morning at least one time in the month, or don't go out to eat at least one time in the month. And I promise you, if you have a one on one coach that's focusing on your nutrition, you're not going to do those things anyway. So that justifies the price in itself. $13 a month to have a one on one fitness and nutrition coach work with you. And especially if you're looking to have that added layer of accountability, which I knew that I needed. Even if you're not going to do 75 hard, I believe this app is huge and that anybody should use it if you're wanting to have higher fitness or nutrition levels. So go ahead and check that app out. And I'm going to have Bridget and Christian on the podcast here in a few weeks. And so you all can hear from them as well. They both work inside of the app. They're both coaches inside of there, and you can link up directly with them, and they're phenomenal people. So I highly encourage you to do that if you want to live a healthier lifestyle. Next is nutrition. So when I started out 75 hard, I was doing keto. It was a diet that I was comfortable with. I already knew how to do it. I've done keto several times in the past, but the problem that I had with keto is that I would go do the keto diet. I would lose 30 or 40 pounds. I would get off the diet, but my mindset didn't change. So I would go directly back to eating all that nasty food that I ate before, and I would gain all the weight back plus. So again, having the First Form app has helped me out with this because I have that added one-on-one accountability and I pay for it. So I'm not going to just slack off on it. It's going to be something that I focus on. And look, a lot of us are not nutritionists. We're not people that fully understand what proteins, carbs, fats, calories, what a caloric deficit is, what all of these things are. We don't understand all of the things we need to put in our body in order to have it operate the way that we need it to operate. So having a one-on-one coach has definitely helped out with this. And I encourage you to think about that if it's something that you want to do. Next was the progress picture. And y'all, from day one to day 75, which for me took 122 days. I had a failed first attempt at 47 days and then rolled right into the 75 days. And looking at those pictures, I mean, you can imagine dropping 70 pounds and what that might look like on somebody. I'm going to share the picture with you right here. It was absolutely crazy. Like, to look at the pictures, but not only the physical transformation, but the mental transformation that I had. I already talked about it a little bit before, just being more confident, being able to say no to things, trusting myself, believing in myself more that I'm going to do the things that I said I'm going to do versus just slacking off and procrastinating. I see that person before and I'm like, he was lazy. He was a procrastinator. He didn't do the things he said he was going to do. And then I look at me now and I'm like, that's a guy that follows through. That's somebody that has completely transformed their mind. That's somebody that truly understands the importance of fitness and nutrition and incorporates that in their daily life. Something that I have lived every single day for the past 4 months. And y'all, the benefit of it has been amazing. And I highly, highly encourage you to consider doing something in that realm if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling angry, anxious, bloated, if you're feeling lazy, whatever it might be, if you're feeling alone. Like, it's so hard in life right now, specifically, to sit at home, look at social media, look at the news, and not feel sad or depressed. If you sat back all day and you consumed social media and you consumed the news, I would expect you to be in a place of depression, anxiety, sadness. And I'm not saying that fitness and nutrition cures 100% of people's depression and anxiety. There is deep rooted trauma in a lot of people's lives that they need professional help for. And I'm not saying that that is not a thing, because I have been a foster parent. I have seen the way that trauma works in people's lives, and I know that that is a huge factor for people with trauma. I get that. But for the rest of the people that were like me, that you're just doing it kind of on your own, you're feeling depressed and you don't know why, if you're focusing on these areas of your life that I'm talking about, you will see massive results. You will see crazy increases that you never thought possible. And I'm speaking from experience. Literally, the last 4 months, this is what I have lived. So if you're feeling that way and you really feel like, maybe I don't need professional help, but I just need a kickstart, I need somebody to help me out, please reach out to me. Please reach out to me. I'm going to put my personal social medias down in the show notes as well. Reach out to me. I want to try to help you as much as I can. I don't think that you should be living this life alone. I think you need to find some community, and hopefully that I can get you connected with the right people in order to do that. But we're going to keep rolling right on through here. Like I said, the progress pictures were absolutely crazy, but the mental transformation has been even crazier. And then the books. I read some absolutely amazing books through my time in 75 Hard. I started out with The Intentional Father. Thank you, Nick, for that wonderful recommendation. That is a book that I plan to go back and reread and practically implement in my life with my two boys. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, just kind of bringing them into manhood and showing them, what it really is to be a man. If you're a dad and you have sons, please read this book. It is absolutely amazing. After that, I read a book called Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. If you haven't read that one, absolutely phenomenal. And I'm going to do reviews on all of these books as well, because I think there's so much benefit in understanding a book before you read it. After that, I read a book called Good Inside by Dr. Becky Kennedy. Another book, if you have kids, that's absolutely amazing. I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and that changed my mindset on money and how it works. So if you grew up in a family that didn't talk a lot about investments or where to put your money or how to save your money, how to invest it wisely, this is the book for you. And then after that, I read another book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it's really like how to get people on your side, how to talk to people, to win them over, to influence them, whatever it may be, whether you're in a leadership role, sales role, whether you're a parent. This book really works if you're a parent. It was a really good book as well. And then the last book that I read was called The Whole Brain Child by Daniel Siegel. Absolutely another amazing book. If you're a parent, if you're a foster parent and you are working with children with trauma, this helps you really understand their brain and how it works. And it helps you understand the human brain as a whole. Just talking about left brain, right brain, upstairs brain, downstairs brain. It has a hand model for the brain, talking about the amygdala and how that works. So highly encourage you, if you're in any type of field that requires you to think about people's brains, which is actually a lot of you because you probably work with people, I recommend you go read this book. And then drinking the water was an absolute game changer as well for me. I stopped drinking everything else except for coffee and water. And I really didn't even drink that much coffee. I would have like a cup maybe every other day, or 3 times a week. It wasn't that often. I didn't need it. Y'all, the energy that I was getting from the things that I was putting in my body and my output and activities was absolutely crazy. So just changing over to drink a gallon of water a day was huge for me. It wasn't that difficult. I'm used to drinking a whole lot of water anyway. So it was nice to be able to have something in the program where I was like, okay, This is, maybe one of the easier tasks. But the thing about 75 hard, it's not hard to go outside and walk with a pack on your back for 45 minutes. It's not really hard to go to the gym every day if you think about it. It's not super hard to drink a gallon of water, to take a progress picture, to read 10 pages of a book, to pick a diet that you can mostly stick to. But the thing that I loved about 75 hard is that there is no compromise. That's it. No compromise. And this is the thing that truly led to my transformation. There was no choice. You had to do these tasks every single day. If you didn't, you started back on day one. Like I said, I went 47 days. I forgot to read on the 47th day, woke up on day 48, and I was crushed. Literally, like I went out for a walk that day and I cried for like the first 10 minutes of it because I was absolutely devastated. But at that point, I had a decision to make, right? Past me would have said, you failed. You're about to go on vacation. Live it up on vacation and come back and finish it. But you know what I would have done? I would have come back after vacation and been like, you know what? Thanksgiving's coming up. Let's just wait for Thanksgiving to be over. We love us some pumpkin pie. And then we'll hit 75 hard after that. Then it would have been, but you know what? Christmas. And I love me some Christmas candy. I love me some Buckeyes. My mother-in-law makes some really good Christmas candy. But that would have just kept leading into this and this and this and this. And it would have been tomorrow, next week. I've done this my whole life. My whole life I have said, I'll start that tomorrow. Tomorrow's not good enough. It had to be today. So that day I had a decision to make, and I decided today I'm going to continue on. Today's day one. I'm not having a lull in between. I'm not having a break. Today's day one. And I carried it on. And I completed all 75 days after that. No compromise. Absolute transformation in my body and my mind. I'm now doing super hard things like cold plunges every day, which I didn't want to do, but I got spurred on by somebody on social media. Ian, if you're watching this, you struck something in me. I was like, why am I not doing it? And so if you all are looking for a challenge, if you're looking for something to give you a transformation in your mind, if you're stuck in a spot that I was in 4 months ago, where you were depressed, you were sad, you were lazy, you had no purpose, you weren't meeting your goals, you were lethargic, you were low energy, you were just laying around. And maybe you were also like me and you had a family that relies on you, that wants you to be present, but you're stuck behind your phone screen all day, just sitting back scrolling. I highly encourage you to either do this program or find a way to get your fitness and nutrition under control. Because if you can start to work on some of this stuff, I am telling you, you're going to see complete transformation. It's going to happen for you. I know it is. And so for those of you out there that are thinking, I can't do that. I can't believe Josh did that. He did what? For 75 days? For 122 days? He did what? And he's lost how much weight? Y'all, let me be an encouragement to you. 4 months ago, I was in your shoes. I didn't think that I could do this, but I did it. And I'm here today and I'm better than I was then. And I'm going to continue to progress because I have a mission now. I have a greater mission in life. I saw a lot through my yoga and meditation and prayer and reading my Bible that I was just like, God has so much more planned for me. And he has kind of opened up my mind a little more into the things that I should be doing. And those are the things that I'm going to spend time on. And that's what this podcast is all about. Approach the Climb was built because, like I said in my introduction episode, we all have this mountain in front of us. And it can look just insurmountable. We can look at it and say, you know what? I can't do that. You look around, there's nobody around you. There's no footing. There's nothing. You don't have a bag packed. But my goal for this podcast is to give you the hope that you can climb that mountain and that you don't have to do it alone. So I hope today is an encouragement to you. I hope that listening to my story about 75 hard doesn't just make you think I'm absolutely crazy, but it makes you think, you know what? If Josh can do it, I can do it. And if you're in that boat, like I said, if you're where I was 4 months ago and you don't think you can do it, please reach out to me. I want to help you how I can. You can find my social media links down below. Feel free to message me. Feel free to call me if you have my number. I am open to you all. I want you to be successful in life. I want you to experience the things that I've experienced. And I don't think you can do that if you're stuck in the place that I was 4 months ago. So thank you so much for listening today. Again, this is Approach the Climb, and I wish you the best on your personal climb to success.